Hello and welcome to this series where I show and explain how a violin is built. Today I'm going to plane the top and the back totally flat so I can cut the shape out of the pieces of wood. In the previous video, I spoke about the different ways to cut the wood used to make the instrument, but Richard asked why do we use different ways. As I said in the last video, wood for violins, viola, cellos and double basses is cut in two ways, quarter cut and tangential. For the top we only used quarter cut, and that is for a structural reason. Trees are separated into two categories: evergreens, which have leaves the whole year, and deciduous trees. These ones lose their leaves in winter. Spruce is an evergreen tree and grows in two stages every year, in winter and in summer. In the winter, as it's cold, the tree grows slowly, and in the summer, when it's warm and sunny, the tree grows much faster. As winter wood grows slowly, it is compacter and therefore stronger than the fast-growing summer wood. That's why there is such a difference in the structure of evergreen trees, with the winter wood making these well-marked rings between the light summer wood. Cutting this wood in the quarter way and joining the two parts as I did in the previous video, we managed to put these hard parts of the wood in a vertical way in the top of the violin, creating a kind of beams that will have to support the tension of the strings that comes through the bridge. For the back, it's a totally different story. Maple is a deciduous kind of tree, doesn't have difference between winter and summer wood, and is much more homogeneous with no soft and hard parts. That's why we can use both ways of cutting, and the decision depends more on aesthetics than on constructive matters. Maple has two other structural effects called flaming and bird eye. Flaming is what you see here, the lines in this way, and it's called like that because as you move the wood it looks like it's moving. And bird eye is the one you know from my other videos, and is the wood I am using, and is what you see here, these small dots which look like eyes. It's not known why maple does this effect, but it looks very nice. Bird eye comes better to its value when it's cut in the tangential way. As you see, in this way it looks like spots, but if you cut it in the quarter way, it becomes these lines and loses a bit of this nice dotty effect which you have here. That's why bird eye wood is almost always cut in the tangential way. Flaming is visible in both ways, with a very regular structure in quarter cut, which you see here, and a more spectacular way when it's cut in the tangential way, which I can show you here. It's not very visible, it's more visible when the instrument is finished and is varnished, but on the side of the wood you can see the flaming here, and this is how it looks like tangential cut. Now I have explained these things, let's go ahead with the making of the instrument. Before I go ahead, I want to say one last thing. As you may have noticed, my videos have a soundtrack with violin playing music. A friend of mine has been so kind to record some music with me, but now I've almost used everything and I need new music. If you play the violin, viola, cello or double bass and you would like to hear your music in one of my videos, send me an email and we'll discuss how we can arrange something. Now I have the two blades are ready. What I have to do now is to plane the surface completely flat at the inner side, so the side where they are going to be glued on the ribs. Okay, the back side is ready. Now I have to do the same with the top. Both the top and the back are completely flat now and are ready to go to the next step, which is to draw and cut out the form of the instrument that I'm going to make. For this there are two ways to do it. You can use a model, just put it on, draw, cut, and you are ready. Or use the ribs to do that, and this is the way that I prefer, because if there are small defects on the ribs, you can just bring them over to the top and the ribs, or the top and the back and the ribs will match completely, instead of using a model which may not match completely to the ribs. I've already signed the middle on the ribs, so I know how to place it, and of course I will use the top part for the top and the back part for the back. One very important thing is for the back, not to forget the nut. You see it here, because if you cut it, you can throw it away. To draw the line I will use a special pencil that I made. It's not very complicated, it's a pencil that is flat on one side and it keeps a constant distance from the ribs. The distance between the ribs and the end of the top and back have to become at the end slightly less than 3 millimeters. But now I am going to draw more than 4 millimeters, so there is enough space. It looks a bit like that. And not to forget the nut. I always leave it very big, but it's better than too small and have a problem after. They are both ready now and I can show them, and I will use the benzo. The top and the back are ready. They start looking now like a violin. Let's say that this is a bit what we are looking to make. Here stops also this video. Next time I will start working on the outer sides of the top and the back, making a bit of the arching and starting to prepare to do the purfling. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share so everyone can see how the violin is made. Subscribe so you see the next steps. If this is the first video you see of this series, don't forget to have a look at the ones that come before, so you can catch up and understand what is happening. And I will see you next time again. Bye bye!